Hey guys, it's Princess and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. I really appreciate every single one of you. And for those of you who are watching and who are not subscribed, I see you and we have beef, okay? Cool, just want to put that out there.
How much responsibility do you feel you have, particularly guys the alt-right, who, as you say, some of them have enjoyed your work, and today I'm not one of you guys. I'm not with you guys.
They haven't enjoyed my work.
I've definitely read bits on the internet.
Read more.
Oh, that's so bluntly. He said, read more. He said, wrong guy. Wasn't me. It wasn't me. He said,
it wasn't me.
I think a trans woman is a real woman.
I don't really like the way those questions are formulated. Now, I don't know what that means. What do you mean a real woman?
Well, I'm asking you, in your mind, it depends what you think a real woman is, but do you think a trans woman is a woman?
No.
Why not?
Because I think that women are capable, generally speaking, of having babies, and they have female genitalia, and they have an XX chromosome, and I think the biological markers are relevant.
I'm interested in people being able to have different choices and having equality of outcome.
Aha, well, so the overwhelming proportion of people who are in prisons are male. Now, do you want to equalize that?
oh, look over
Just out of curiosity. What about bricklayers? They're 99% male. And we've got about 3/4 of the population now in universities in the humanities and social sciences are female.
Yeah.
Are we going to equalize that? And men work longer hours. They work more dangerous jobs. They're more likely to move. They're more likely to work outside.
Right. Yeah.
They're more likely to participate in jobs in the STEM fields that are scalable. They make more money.
Sorry, look at this woman's face. It's the look of shame. It's that look when, you thought you said something smart, but then someone just completely devours you and then you just feel stupid. Like we've all been there. It happens. It happens to the best of us. You know what I mean? Like Jordan Peterson does not play. He doesn't play games.
And that's all hidden under the idea that the reason that men and women make different amounts of money is because of their gender. It's a very simplistic analysis.
These people are bored. Where's your mum? Where are your parents?
That's pure narcissism at work,
This
by the
is
way.
just, no. You just know that they thought that they were being revolutionary, they thought they were being so rebellious. They're like, oh my
god, we're so cool. We're gonna crash Jordan Peterson and we're gonna make him look stupid. We're gonna destroy Jordan. We're gonna hold up our stupid side and we're gonna destroy him.
And it's like, no, honey, you're just embarrassing yourself.
You really thought you ate? Give me that fucking plate.
To hijack an event like this that other people put time and effort into,
It's
and
rude.
to use their civility of the crowd and the civility of the organizers as an excuse to blatantly yell out your ill-informed opinions is no way to conduct a civil dialogue. It's absolutely appalling. The people who do that should be embarrassed.
My idea of the patriarchy is a system of male dominance of society.
Yeah, but that's not my sense of the patriarchy.
So what's yours?
Well, in what sense is our society male-dominated?
The fact that the vast majority of wealth is owned by men, the vast majority of capital is owned by men. Women do more unpaid labour.
A very tiny proportion of men, and a huge proportion of people who are seriously disaffected are men. Most people in prison are men. Most people who are on the street are men. Most victims of violent crime are men. Most people who commit suicide are men. Most people who die in wars are men. People who do worse in school are men. It's like, where's the dominance here precisely? What you're doing is you're taking a tiny substrata of hyper-successful men and using that to represent the entire structure of Western society. There's nothing about that that's vaguely appropriate.
But I could say equally well that most rape victims are women. Terrible things happen to people of both sexes.
Yeah,
you could
exactly.
say that with perfect utility, but that doesn't provide any evidence for the existence of a male-dominated patriarchy.
Gotcha, bitch!
That is my main issue, I think, with modern feminism. Like, first wave feminism, cool, fine, no issues. It's just like, everything is just the patriarchy's fault. Like, women are just so oppressed. Like, we have no rights. We're just like so oppressed, apparently. We're so oppressed. And it's just like, there are inequalities on both sides. Like, society is just not fair, you know? When I see like modern feminists complaining, I'm just like, what are you complaining about? You can't think of a single right that men have that women don't have. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we live in, thank gosh that we live in such a society that has progressed so much to the point where women can go to school, they can do whatever they want. Like, they can fight in the army if they want to fight in the army. You have people on TikTok, people just complaining, oh, the patriarchy. I genuinely think this gender divide that is so prevalent in society today is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, all these problems that both genders are just blaming on each other, I think it's silly. I mean, can we not just meet in the middle? Like, why do we have to blame the other gender for our problems? Sometimes it's not the patriarchy.
And on your question for Professor Peterson, why do you feel that someone's personal gender identity and pronouns infringes your free speech? Can one not also argue, based on your interpretation, that professors can use racial slurs in their classroom and that the inability to do so would violate their freedom of speech?
There's a difference between saying that there's something you can't say and saying that there are things that you have to say.
Facts.
And I regard these made-up pronouns, all of them, as the neologisms of radical PC authoritarians. Do you understand that? And I'm not a fan of that sort of person. And the reason I'm not a fan of that sort of person is because I've done my homework. I've read everything I can get my hands on in the development of authoritarian political systems, and I know the literature inside out and backwards. And I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest. And that's that.
I love how he just stands firm in what he believes in. He stays true to his beliefs and he doesn't let anyone push him aside or anything like that. He just says what he wants to say. That's it. If you don't like it, tough.
That's tough. That's hard.
Women throughout history have fundamentally cooperated to push back against the absolute catastrophe of existence. A terrible death rate, the probability of chronic starvation, early death, disease, the difficulty of raising children, with all the death that was associated with that. And to look backwards in time and say, well, basically what happened was men took the upper hand and persecuted women in this tyrannical patriarchies. It's absolutely dreadful misreading of history. It's a terrible thing to teach young women, and it's a horrible thing to inflict on men.
When the Marxists say, well, that wasn't real Marxism, what it really means, and I've thought about this for a long time, it's the most arrogant possible statement anyone could ever make. It means, if I would have been in Stalin's position, I would have ushered in the damn utopia instead of the genocidal massacres, because I understand the doctrine of Marxism and everything about me is good. It's like, well, think again, sunshine. You don't understand it. You don't understand it. And you're not that good. And if the power was in your hands, assuming you have the competence, which you don't, you wouldn't have done any better. And even if you had, there would have been someone else waiting right behind you to shoot you the first time you actually tried to do anything good. And that's what happened to all the old guard who ran the damn revolution. Stalin rounded them all up and shot them, along with their families and millions of other people. So even if you do happen to be that avatar of moral purity that you claim implicitly, the probability that you get to act out your goodness in relationship to those possessed by your ideology is zero.
Literally, we live in such a world now where anything you say can be considered as offensive. People will literally cancel you for saying something that they don't agree with or that doesn't align with what you're supposed to think. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, oh, she said something about cats when she was 10 years old and it was really, really offensive to all cat lovers, and I'm just so offended. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is the real world. Like, people should be able to say what they want to say, you know, and I can't control if someone gets offended. If you choose to get offended by something, that's on you, you know. You can't just censor everyone and say, oh, you can't say that, you can't say that, you can't say that. It's like, what the hell? Like, what society have we come to? Like, why has it gotten so extreme to the point now where, like, everyone is being scrutinized, everyone is being criticized? Like, you can't say anything bad, not even bad, like anything just that might be a little bit controversial.